On today's episode of Bet Bath & Beyond, Andy and Ian talk fantasy football for pretty much the whole episode. Also, we are going to be moving our podcast to once a week starting very shortly in the next upcoming week. We just have another podcast coming out that's going to be about fantasy football specifically. Bet Bath & Beyond is not going anywhere. It is going to be once a week, and it will still be out on Fridays. You're not going to want to miss this.
3, 2, 1,
Go.
I am Ian Peacock.
And I am Andy Heidemann, and I hate sports betting.
No matter what you say, I'm betting 100 on it tonight.
Welcome to Bet Bath & Beyond.
Brought to you by B3T Sports.
.com. Go to b3tsports.com. We have fresh content out on the daily, whether it's this podcast or Andy talking about fucking fantasy or me talking about NFTs or Zed Run. We got it all. Johnny Walks is talking about the Mariners. He's talking about
all the time.
Dolphins. Did you got a Dolphins blog coming out?
Dude, I don't know. He wrote about football a lot last year, but and he is a Dolphins fan. But he's really into baseball right now. So, how's it going?
This episode brought to you by, you can see it,
Michael Bublé.
This is actually huge for our sponsorships because we have video now and we can actually show you the can. This one is the Blackberry can.
I actually love blackberry sparkling waters and like blackberry ciders.
It's great.
Ciders, seltzers. Those are really good.
Blackberry is a very underrated fruit.
I'm thinking. I was thinking, I'm like, of all the fruits, how underrated is blackberry? Yeah,
actually, that's probably a lie. Blackberry is in everything, probably. Like, there's blackberry pie, there's blackberry, like you said, seltzers, blackberry fucking tea, blackberry alcohol. Blackberry is everywhere. You know what's an underrated fruit? I'll tell you what's an actual underrated fruit because I had it today, and I usually never have it. And when I was eating it today, I was like, damn, I should eat this fruit more. Peaches.
Kiwi. Oh.
Peaches. Kiwi's also another one. Kiwi's kind of an exotic, expensive
I don't like
fruit.
kiwi.
It's got a tart.
I like kiwi flavor, like in things like strawberry kiwi.
Yeah, that's good.
Strawberry kiwi Kool-Aid. That's
yeah. But peaches, and I'm just talking about eating peaches on their own, underrated. Peaches are delicious.
I would agree. Peaches, mango. I'm a bitch for mango stuff. That stuff is good. Mango and pineapple. I like pineapple too a lot, but pineapple's not really underrated.
No, pineapple's not underrated at all. Pineapple's a huge
Pineapple might even be overrated. I mean, it's good. I love it, but I mean, like it could still be overrated. Right. So how's it going? This is episode 2 of our vacation week. We're still gonna be putting content out, obviously, because we're built different, but but it's not going to be the day before or anything like that. And the last episode we talked about fantasy football, so I think we're going to do it again for this episode.
It's a 2-part fantasy football bonanza. Hopefully, like I said it in our last episode, you haven't drafted your team yet. You should not be drafting your team yet this early.
Unless you're insane or you're doing like a special draft.
Right. Disclaimers for
I'm in a
Andrew.
draft. I'm in a draft right now, and you saw it, and you looked disgusted when you heard about it. It is
16 tight ends, 16 quarterbacks.
No. It's a 10-team tight end premium league with you have to start 3 tight ends and 3 quarterbacks, and then you get 6 flex spots, and that could be either wide receivers or running backs.
Right.
And that's all your team is, and I think you get like 5 bench spots. And that draft is a slow draft, so that's going on. Like I might end up having to draft in the middle of this podcast. We'll see what happens.
Really? Well, if you actually do, you have to say it out loud. You have to say what you're doing.
I could tell you right now that let me see who is available because I just drafted my last pick actually was Antonio Brown at the 14.4 spot. The next pick I have is. The next spot I have is the 15-7, and the people in my queue are Brandon Cooks, Ronald Jones, and Curtis Samuel. Those are the guys I'm kind of looking at.
Hit us with I mean, we don't have to go through all 14 rounds, but hit us with your top 5.
So my first pick of the draft, 107, I was 7th overall. I picked George Kittle. I was 1 pick away. I would have gotten Kelsey.
Damn, that has to hurt. That has to
It
hurt.
does. I almost didn't go Kittle because you have to start 3 quarterbacks. I almost went Dak, but I didn't. I went Kittle.
That's a good call. He's not going to play.
No, Dak is going to play.
His leg's broken. His leg's broken, Andrew.
But Dak did go the next pick. My second round pick was Aaron Rodgers for my quarterback, and then my third round pick was Mark Andrews.
Let's go.
And then Trey Lance and Taysom Hill were my other 2 quarterbacks.
Taysom Hill.
Taysom I took only because his rushing upside is really, really good for fantasy football. Even if he doesn't play like phenomenally at the quarterback position, as long as he's out there and starting, he's going to get you fantasy points. I'll take it. I mean, he's going to be involved in that offense no matter what, right? It's just a matter of how.
Jameis Winston's going to be taking over that job pretty soon. You understand that, right?
Well, so here's the thing. I thought about drafting Jameis and drafting Jimmy Garoppolo.
I love that move.
I thought about doing it. Somebody picked him before me.
Damn.
Before I could in my next round, yeah. But that's kind of what the team structure is looking like. I'll probably post something from the B3T Twitter just so people can get it. I'll be like, what do you think of this draft? Because people are going to think it's fucking weird looking at it.
I definitely do for sure.
Yeah. Okay. So we're talking running backs today. These are, again, same as last episode. These are PPR, which is points per reception. Running backs can score crazy amounts of points in this like format. We're going to start with number 12. It is a coincidence. Number 12 on last episode's list was Terry McLaurin. Number 12 on this list is Antonio Gibson, running back for the
Washington football team player at number 12. Antonio Gibson, I don't like. And let me tell you why I don't like him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't trust the Washington football team. Gibson's not a number 1. He's not a number 1. He might be a number 2. The Washington football team has kind of a Mod Podge. He's not like the main running back. There's also McKissick. Remember McKissick?
He is a good pass catcher.
He's a great pass catcher. I have him on Dynasty, so maybe I'm a little biased, but I'm not sure. I'm getting a little ahead, but I love the Aaron Jones pick at number 11. I don't like this.
Sure.
Pick. I do not like this.
So the reason I've got Gibson here is because I do like his talent. I like, because you also have to think about Gibson can catch the ball too. He's shown that he can. And this is also the coach, Ron Rivera, who appropriately used Christian McCaffrey for 2 years. If anyone's going to use a dual threat running back to the highest ability, it would probably be somebody like him who has worked with Christian McCaffrey. I think that his upside is there. Antonio Gibson's not going in the first round. As a matter of fact, he's going toward the back of the second round, depending on your draft. If you happen to get Christian McCaffrey 101, and then at 212 in the second round, you get Antonio Gibson as your running back 2, I think that that's a really good setup 1-2 punch. Because you said it yourself.
That's if he yes.
If he
I
falls.
agree with that. Yes, I agree with that. If you got Christian McCaffrey at 101 and then get Gibson at the end of round 2, that's a solid 1-2 punch right there.
And I think that's a steal for you. 11, we've got Aaron Jones.
I love this pick. I love Aaron Jones. I don't know why people sleep on him sometimes. I don't know.
Okay, it's funny that you say that because I think Aaron Jones is an extremely talented running back. I think that he can catch. I think he falls into opportunity sometimes because the Green Bay Packers sometimes he just, I don't feel like I love him as much as other running backs. When I posted this article to Reddit, there are a lot of people who are very upset that Aaron Jones was only at 11. Lots of people are upset that he's not top 5. He finished top 5 last year, but I had to defend myself. I was like, Christian McCaffrey was out. Barkley was out. Chubb did not play a full 16. Like, these are guys who are going to finish above him and push him back. I mean, it's just...
I wouldn't pick him top 5. He's definitely... I like him at number 11 because, one, I really like him, and I think you could get him at 11. I think it's very possible that someone gets him at number 11 in the first round.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of viewing this as like, I wouldn't take Gibson first round. I don't think I'd ever take Gibson first round. I think I'm taking Aaron Jones towards the back of the first round. You're right that he finished 5 only because a bunch of other running backs were hurt. And the Green Bay Packers are a weird team, and they also have like two other running backs / fullbacks that do a lot of carrying.
There's another example for the Green Bay Packers is there are teams who get into the red zone and almost there's like 33% of them are like the Green Bay Packers where they like to throw the ball. Like, not a lot of teams throw the ball in that red zone. They like to run it first. Green Bay has Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers, so they like to throw it. They like to throw that end zone fade. That limits Aaron Jones' upside in the red zone. It's just what it is. It's not his fault, but if you're playing fantasy, you don't really care whose fault it is. You just care who's producing. At number 10, we have Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He had kind of a rough season last year, not because it was poor, but because it wasn't what people expected. People were expecting a little bit more, but he was also a rookie. I think that this year, there's no Lev Bell on the team. He is the clear-cut number one running back for these guys. He can catch the ball, and it's the same kind of deal as the Tyreek Hill thing. As long as Patrick Mahomes is slinging it, he's going to get a bump because it's the best offense in the NFL, without a doubt.
He was number 22 last year. He finished number 22 last year.
He missed some games. And that'll happen. I mean, you're not.
Would you take Clyde Edwards-Helaire in the first round this year?
I would not take Clyde in the first round. I
wouldn't either.
Maybe would take. I might take him at the end of the second.
Would you take? Maybe. Okay. Well, then here's something interesting because I've already said that I would take Aaron Jones in the first round. Would you take Aaron Jones in the first round?
It depends where I'm at. I'm not taking him in the first. I'm not taking him in the first 8. Probably not the first 10.
Sure, but there's a part of you that would take Aaron Jones in the first round. There's a good chance that you would take Gibson at the back of the second round. You wouldn't even take Clyde Edwards-Helaire in the first round, and you might take him in the back of the last round. So that already means that you value Aaron Jones and Gibson over Clyde Edwards-Helaire. You see where I'm going with this?
Yeah, a little bit, but again, we talked about this previously.
Checkmate. Well, brought to you by BlackBerry Bubbly.
So there's risk involved, right? Like, so you want to make sure that your pick your highest pick is the least risky pick you make because it's your most valuable pick, right? So as you go down, your risk gets higher and higher. Like your tolerance for risk should get higher and higher, right? Not by much from round 1 to 2 or from 2 to 3, but a little bit. I think for me, Clyde's upside is what makes him attractive. I won't draft him in the first or second round probably, but if he falls to me in the third round and my running backs now think about this. Think about your running backs being Christian McCaffrey in the first, 101, and then at the 212 or the 210, you've got Gibson, and then you're the first pick in the third round and you grab Clyde. In a PPR league, you don't have any receivers, but there's lots of value at wide receiver in the 4th and 5th round in general. You're not going to get a stud, but you could definitely get CeeDee Lamb to be your one.
Sure.
But
what I'm saying is in that scenario, you're taking Gibson over Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Yeah, no, you are. I'm just saying that I think that his upside is what makes him attractive. Even though he's getting drafted in that third round range, I think that he has the opportunity to finish in the top 12. I think he very well could finish at 10 just overall.
Did anybody in the subreddit that you posted this article to have a problem with Clyde Edwards being on this list?
No one commented about that. Again, honestly, like 60% of them were about Aaron Jones not being on. I
love that.
But there are a lot of Packers fans too, so sometimes you got to weed that shit out. Right? Because sometimes,
but he did finish top 5. He did finish top.
Yeah, no, he did. He absolutely did. Number 9, we got Nick Chubb. This one is a little scary for people. It's PPR. He's not a pass catcher like Kareem as much, but he is Derrick Henry-esque. He's a big dude. He has phenomenal running skill. He has great vision, good speed. If he could catch the ball more and he didn't have to split the touches, he'd be way higher on this list, but he does have to split the touches. And I just think that being number 9 is not necessarily bad, but I think that he would be better off if he could have an individual role. But both of those guys, I think, still are going to be playing for the Browns the next 2 years. So you're going to have to factor that in when you're looking at these guys.
Totally agree. No problem over here with that pick. I love Chubb, even though he plays for the Browns. I just love him as a running back, specifically as a fantasy owner. I would love to have him on my team this year. It does suck. He has to split the carries with Kareem Hunt, which is why, I think 9 makes sense. I take him in the back of the first round, top of the second round, but he's not going to be my top 6 pick just because he has to split those carries.
Number 8, we have Austin Eckler. I think he's shifty. I think he's athletic.
He's hurt. He was hurt most of last season.
He was hurt. He wouldn't be this high if he did not catch as damn well as he does. He catches the ball so well. He makes phenomenal moves with his
wasn't
legs.
A gay joke, by the way. That wasn't a gay joke. He's just a really good catcher of the football.
Yeah, exactly. And he's just they're good on the goal line. Herbert, like, they have the most improved offensive line this year, like, without a doubt. It's just, I think that the Chargers have a really good shot of putting Austin Eckler in the best possible situation for him, and they paid him. Like, people forget,
Did he get
got
paid?
The bag.
He got
paid. Oh. He did. It was last year. It was right before
he got hurt,
which is unfortunate, but good for him. Like, securing it. He is athletic and explosive, and with Herbert there and the offensive line upgrade, I can definitely see him, especially in PPR. Number 8. Sorry.
No, I'm done with Eckler. That great pick. I'd pick Eckler too. He got the bag. Good. He was hurt most of last season, so it's hard for me to really form an opinion. I've got a really short-term memory. I'm like a fucking goldfish. So the fact that he was hurt,
be a goldfish.
So the fact that he was hurt, same thing with Saquon. The fact that they were both hurt last year, I'm gonna be like, clean slate, or I just don't know. Like, what do you want from me, right? You want me to go back in the memory bank for 2019? It's not gonna happen. But I'm
if
laughing.
That's what you're basing off of, Saquon should be definitely number 2, 100%.
100%. I'm drafting Saquon in the top 3 if I've got the top 3 pick. I'm laughing at Jonathan Taylor as number.
You don't like Jonathan Taylor.
Jonathan Taylor. Just know how much you love him. He's your golden boy. He's your golden boy, Andrew.
He is. He was electric in Wisconsin. It took him a while to get going in the NFL because the rookies, it sometimes does. He was never ever bad. He just wasn't what people expected until the back half of the season, though. I mean, he finished last year as the running back 6, and he really didn't play that well until the final 7 weeks.
That shocks me that he finished that high. I had no idea, or that low. I'm just surprised he racked up over 1,000 yards, 12 touchdowns. He finished number 6 in the league as a rookie. I didn't think he was that good. I don't remember him being that good.
He is super good. Now, he wouldn't have gotten the opportunity that he did unless Marlon Mack got hurt. Marlon Mack tore his Achilles. Some people are concerned because Marlon Mack is back with the team. He's recovered from his Achilles. Anyone who comes back from an Achilles injury for fantasy football is not relevant in the history of doing so. It just doesn't typically happen. Miracles could happen. Who knows? But I'm not concerned with that. He definitely is a power running back, and they gave him the opportunities at the end of the season. If they're going to trust him to hold the rock like they did at the end of the season for the entire season, I see no reason that this man cannot be a phenomenal asset to your team. Now, where he's being drafted, it's a little risky. He's being drafted in the first round. He's being drafted at 7, 8. For some people, that's a little rich. And that's a little rich for some people. If you happen to get him at the end of the first, where you can stack him with somebody where it's like Taylor and then Kelsey maybe right away in the second or something like that, where you can get, like, there's the risk, but I'm getting the guaranteed production from Kelsey and a positional advantage. You can kind of balance your team that way. I think he will definitely finish here, unless he's on your team already because of a keeper or a dynasty league. I think it's really tough to draft him. But I like his talent. I think another year under his belt. That offensive line is crazy. Their defense is good. They designed that team specifically for bad quarterback play. Phillip Rivers was playing there, for God's sake, and they won games. They made the playoffs.
Phillip Rivers throws like a fucking girl, dude. He literally throws like a girl. I'm not even trying to make fun of him. He's a great quarterback. He doesn't belong in the Hall of Fame, but he's a great quarterback. Okay, it's the Hall of Fame.
He might come back and play.
He's not coming back. He's not coming back.
We'll go over that in a second.
He's going to be coaching high school ball until he dies. Listen, he just didn't have the strength last year. He literally looked like he was throwing like a little girl, and I think it was his time. Now, speaking of a risky play in Jonathan Taylor, the next quarterback we're about to talk about is pretty much as safe of a pick as you can get, because Ezekiel Elliott is someone who did not do shit last year, but still is a safe pick just because he's going to get the ball so many fucking times.
If you just think about, when you say he didn't do shit last year, it's like, you just think about it. You cannot recall any spectacular plays. He's finished as the running back 9.
I know he finished top 10. He finished top 10, but his goldfish. I don't remember anything.
Here are his fantasy finishes over the last 5 years: 2, 13, 5, 3, and 9. And I believe that year he finished 5. He missed a couple of games because.
What about 15?
What do you mean, 13?
No, what's the highest he's finished in a season? I thought it was 15.
Oh, I don't know. This was just over the last 5 years. I maybe the year before it was 15. I don't have that info readily right in front of me, but I'm just like, his ability to play football is insane. He is a great running back. He has Dak back. That's only an upgrade. He's just never going to lose you your week. Now, he does not have the ceiling that some of these other guys do. I mean, yeah, he could go off, but you're not going to get a Christian McCaffrey, a Barkley performance.
You're picking the floor. You're picking the Zeke floor.
Absolutely. And that's a lot of people when they get to the number 5 or number 6 pick this year, and they're like, do I take Zeke or do I take Taylor? Do I take Zeke or do I take
Zeke? I'm taking Zeke.
Do I take Zeke or do I take Kamara? Like, a lot of people
I'm taking Kamara. Oh, I'm taking Kamara. I didn't know he was on the table. I didn't know he was on the table.
I am too, but I'm saying a lot of people, some people look at, we'll get to Kamara because he is obviously on this list, but there are people who go, no Drew Brees, Michael Thomas isn't playing, our defense got worse. Like, they just think that Kamara cannot possibly do it all. I think that's wrong. I think his volume is going to be off the charts. But again, we'll get to that. I'm just saying, a lot of people, when they're faced with Zeke or X, I always say go Zeke because it's the first round. You want to minimize your risk. And you're doing that when you pick Zeke.
It was 13. Yeah, you're right. I was thinking that 2, 13, 5, 3, and 9. I was thinking he finished 15 instead of 13 his second year. But I was just basically saying, like, was he hurt when he finished 13? Because I don't remember him having a year where he was worse than he was last year.
I think, wasn't 13 the year that Romo hurt his back?
A goldfish, dude.
Not 2013. Yeah, that's fair.
Goldfish.
Not 2013, but the year that he finished at 13. Anyway, number 5, we got Derrick Henry.
How do you not have him as number 1? How do you not have admittedly, I actually don't know who you have at number 1, but how do you not have Derrick Henry, how did he finish at number 3 and not number 1 last year when he racked over 2,000 yards and 17 touchdowns? Was it just because he got no receiving yards?
It's because Alvin Kamara had 21 touchdowns.
What a freak. What a freak.
Yeah, we'll get to that. But Henry is athletically gifted. The part of the reason
that's not the only gift he's got, dude. He's also genetically gifted. He's a fucking freak. He's 6'3", 250 pounds, and there's 2 of me.
Yeah, well, he's just like, the image I've got in the article here is him literally like ripping the helmet off of some poor Houston Texans player, like because of the stiff arm. And no one can tackle this dude. I mean, this is PPR. He only got 31 targets last year. He usually doesn't need targets. He's still going to finish as a high finishing running back because of who he is and the way that offense is run. But they've got a new offensive coordinator. They also have Tannehill, who he's a good quarterback, but I mean, he's really good because of the play action pass, and they don't get that unless they sell it, and selling the play action pass repetitively will beat your running back up. He has, 681 attempts over the last 2 years. I'm not saying that this is the year that things are going to break down for him, but he does not have as much time as some of these other backs in the league.
How old is he?
How old is he?
I'm curious.
He's older.
28?
Let me see.
Is he my age? Is he a senior?
Derrick Henry, he's 27. January 4th is his.
He's younger.
His birthday.
Wow. Ooh.
He's younger than you. But still, like, for a running back, 27 years old. That is old.
Well, especially especially considering how much work he gets during the season.
Yeah.
He gets so much work. He gets so much action.
And it's just again, I'm not going to be the one to call his funeral for fantasy relevance, but I am going to say that you got to be on the lookout. I mean, there's a chance that this year he hurts himself. I mean, like it's just volume. Number 4, Saquon. I don't think a lot of people have issues with this. I know he's coming off of a pretty terrible injury, but it's Saquon Barkley. I say it in the article. I said it on Reddit. I will say it to everyone I talk to. He is a generational running back talent. And I don't mean that the way that people just fucking throw it around nowadays. He is a legitimate generational running back talent. You know what I mean? It's not like Najee Harris. Everyone's like, oh, he's generate. I'm like, he's not. He's a great running back, but he played for Alabama. And yeah, he's on the Steelers, but whatever. I mean, it's just not the same.
I'll say it once and I'll say it again, not the generational thing, but my memory is a goldfish. So I have no problem with this. I will be taking Saquon if I have the first 3 picks because I know he's going to go in the first 3 picks. That's just how good he is. Yes. Also, fun fact for all my crypto lovers out there, he is starting to get paid in Bitcoin. He's actually one of the first athletes to structure
I did not know
his
that.
sponsorship deals. Yeah, not his NFL contract, but his sponsorship deals outside the NFL. He gets paid in Bitcoin now.
I believe he also has like an NFT deal type thing where like you could buy an NFT, get a signed jersey, and then go out to dinner with him if you do his, which that's also kind of interesting. Number 3, we've got Alvin Kamara, a freak. He
finished number 1. He finished number 1 last year.
Number 1. Under 1,000 yards rushing, but he had 750 yards receiving, like 83 receptions. That's 83 points alone for catching the ball in PPR.
That's nuts. That is
21 total touchdowns. He had 6 touchdowns on the ground in one game last year.
I know. Oh, I remember. I remember watching
Thanksgiving,
that.
Right?
Yeah, I remember watching that and just being like, Actually, I'm trying to think. My draft order this year sucks. I'm not going to be taking any of these guys because I have the number 5th pick.
The 5th pick? The 5th pick is not terrible. It's not the worst. I have an article actually coming out here in the next couple weeks. It's about why picking from the 6, 7, 8 spot is absolute hell. Because you miss the turns, you miss out on the elite talent, and you're always waiting in the middle. It's awful. I fucking hate it.
That's me this year. Yay, that's me.
But Kamara, you're not going to go wrong with him either. I know people are concerned that he's going to break down just because of the way that they're going to use him, but his volume will be nuts. He's still kind of young. He is athletic and crazy talented. There's no way that he doesn't finish.
Have you seen the drills that he does, the balancing drills where he's like balancing on a medicine ball and like trying to catch stuff and just keeping his center of gravity? Like
they've got the rubber, they look like jacks, right? Like, and they've got red, green, and yellow on them. They throw in the air and they say green, and he has to catch it by the green one. That's crazy.
But like literally, you will look at him and he's like getting tackled, and he somehow is able to stay up on his feet in the field of play. And you're like, how does he do it? Well, it's because he's doing all these fucking crazy ass drills. Yeah, he's doing all these crazy drills. It's working. It's working.
Number 2, Dalvin Cook. This man is a phenomenal runner, just pure runner. It's the way that their offense is designed as well. It's similar to Derrick Henry, so I'm never going to be worried about volume. He does miss a game or 2 each season. Just I don't know if it's load management or what, but he has been hurt before. He caught the ball 44 times last year. He had over 1,500 yards. They gave him 312 touches. And they threw the ball last year more than they have ever thrown the ball with him there and Cousins there. I think that they're going to revert back to running the ball just a little bit more. If he sees 325 touches, I will not be shocked. I would lock and load him into any running back one spot, like at the 2, all day long, all season long.
No complaints here with Dalvin Cook. He was number 2 running back, so it went Kamara at number 1 last year, Cook at number 2, and then Derrick Henry at number 3. Yeah. I think I'm taking Derrick Henry over Cook though this year if I had the chance.
Really?
I think I would.
There are people who would call you for that.
Yeah, I don't know, man. There's something. Maybe it's just because he's the Vikings, and who cares about the Vikings?
You know, at number one, no one's going to be
surprised. That's a dig at one specific person that we know. That's a dig at one specific person. Who cares about the Vikings?
I'm from Iowa, so that's a dig for a lot of specific people I know.
No, but one specific person.
No, yeah.
It's B3T sports analyst Alec.
No one's going to be surprised. Number one is Christian McCaffrey. I mean, it's just obvious, like the way he catches the ball, the way he runs. I mean, he is basically a wide receiver. It
has nothing to do with that you're a huge Panthers fan. No, there's no bias here. No bias.
Who you taking number one overall if you get the number one pick? I mean,
Kamara, I'm taking number one.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
You're insane.
I'm not insane. He was the number one running back last year. How could he not be the number one running back this year?
Saquon and McCaffrey are both healthy and going to play 17 games.
I mean,
unless you're a believer that, like, are you a believer in the injury prone thing? Because that's a really polarizing.
I do. Yes, I am.
Okay.
I definitely do believe that. 100%.
I think it depends on the injury. Like, I think if you've got, like, for example, back injuries, lower back injuries, those plague players, I feel like, for a long time. I feel like upper ankle injuries can sometimes be like, or they can linger for a lot longer. Things like wrists, things like rib displacements, or like shoulders, I'm never really too concerned. Shoulders with quarterbacks maybe, but even so, I don't really see those things linger. Although as somebody who does fantasy projections, it is really hard. Like, to me, I have to sit and just assume every player is going to play every game, because it's really hard to sit here and go, Joe Mixon might miss 2 games. What do I do? You know? But I mean, again, if some people could be scared that McCaffrey maybe could get re-injured, but in PPR, I think Christian McCaffrey is he only played in 3 games last year. And even in those games, the lowest he finished, like, on a week basis is like running back 3, number 3 on the week.
Yeah, no, he's a freak. CMC, top 3 pick. Look, it really, here's what the top 3 picks are going to be. Actually, out the top 4 picks, they're going to be CMC, Christian McCaffrey, Saquon, Derrick Henry, Alvin Kamara, in any of those orders. Any of those orders, if you have the top 4 picks this year in fantasy, you are an idiot if you don't pick one of those 4 guys.
Yeah, unless you're playing in a crazy format, I don't see any way that you're not. Yeah. Also in this article, I just wanted to point it out. Check the bye weeks. Some people who are new to fantasy freak out about bye weeks. Obviously, you don't want all of your starters to have the same bye week. That very rarely happens. But make sure you're just taking a look. You don't want to, like, have your star players be on a bye week and then your next week have your secondary star players be on a bye week together. Don't let it influence you too crazily, but just make sure you know. I've got a list in here who's got bye weeks and where. And then also we've got, obviously, the top 48 list.
Top 48 honorable mentions. I do want to give honorable mentions to number 1, Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs is a very weird running back because I don't know if Gruden likes him or not. If Gruden liked him and they were actually running the ball as much as, say, Dalvin Cook gets the ball, Derrick Henry gets the ball, Josh Jacobs would be definitely in the top 12. Definitely in the top 12. But for some reason, John Gruden uses him in the weirdest way. I don't understand it.
They don't. It's either they don't trust him or they just have an idea for, like, what they want their offense to be that doesn't include that. But he's not a true 3-down back. They just brought in what's his name? Kenyon Drake. Kenyon Drake they signed this year in the offseason. They had the chance to just not sign anyone and let Josh Jacobs be the guy, and they didn't want to do that. So that tells me that they want to spread the ball a little bit more. They only really have one receiving threat, and it's Darren Waller. I guess they've got what's his name from Clemson? I can't think of his name from 2 years ago. Renfro. Hunter Renfro is there.
Oh, yeah.
What
about the really fast guy? The really fast guy, wide receiver. He literally catches like 90-yard balls, or he'll like finish with a goose egg, or he'll get like 20 points a game because I can't remember his name, but he's super fast.
Henry Ruggs.
Yes, Ruggs.
Henry Ruggs III. He is also very fast. They got John Brown on that team too. Smokey John Brown.
Yeah, Smokey B.
They have fast receivers. Well, we'll see.
I like Ronald Jones and Leonard Fournette at pick 33 and 34. Just a nice little bundle, although Ronald Jones gets the majority of the carries down in Tampa Bay.
The thing about those two players specifically is that I don't want them on my team, even though like Ronald Jones will have weeks where he's a running back on the week
for sure.
It's just you don't know who's it gonna be. So unless one of them gets hurt or somebody gets traded or something, I don't want to be holding the bag on that. Maybe in the late rounds when you're like, okay, dart throw, and you can pick them both. But even then, I don't want to be in a position where I'm sitting every week having to decide who am I starting. It's just a big hassle. I don't like to do that in fantasy.
And then two running backs that I'm very excited about this year. One, number 23, Mike Davis. Go Cox. He should be the running back 1 down in Atlanta with Todd Gurley gone. Okay.
Yep.
And then I have high hopes for Chase Edmonds in Arizona, pick number 26 that you have, because I drafted him in Dynasty a very long time ago, and I've been waiting for his comeuppance. I've been waiting for his comeuppance. He can catch too. He's a good receiver.
And here's the thing. They did sign James Conner. He's the running back 2 there. I don't know if James Conner's got anything. I don't know what their plan is to do like with them, but I've seen Edmonds be a phenomenal running back. I think he's got good vision. Arizona, it just whenever it's similar to the Bucs, where you've got Fournette and Ronald Jones, just 2 running backs who are capable, and you don't know what the team's going to do. It's really hard to kind of project that out, but I think he's talented. So
I do too, and I'm hoping for a big year. And then last but not least, your pick number 69, Grapefruit.
Normally, you can only get this technique in one of my classes, but I wanted to share this with you because I believe every man should get grapefruited. When you grapefruit your man, it's going to feel as if you are giving him head and fucking him at the same time.
Every time I come around your city, bling, bling. Every time I come around your city, bling, bling. Every time I come around your city, bling, bling. Every time I come around your city, bling, bling. Every time I come around your city, bling, bling. Every time I come around your city, bling, bling.
Valentino Summers and Wave Runners. Chains on my niggas like slave runners. Drug dealers anonymous. Valentino Summers and Wave Runners. Chains on my niggas like slave runners. Drug dealers anonymous. How many Madonnas can that Mazda fit? My brick talk is more than obvious. It's ominous. Garage is the phantom. Ghouls, ghosts, and goblins. Blonde mohawk the collection. I'm Dennis Rodman.
No better feeling would he ever get than being grapefruited. No better feeling would he ever get than
every time I come around your city, bling, bling. Every time I come around your city, bling, bling. Every time I come around your city, bling, bling. Every time I come around your city, bling, bling. Every time I come around your city, bling, bling. Every time I come around your city, bling, bling.
Time to hit the showers because baths are for babies.